Hi, this is Kelly, and I wanted to show you some things that I brought back home from Michigan. So, you see some of my videos in different places around the country and the world, but I never really talk about how certain places make me feel. So I obviously left Michigan in 2012. I still own a home there, which is also my youth camp facility, and I have a lot of friends and family there. And I moved to Alaska. Some of you know what catapulted me here. It was actually some adversity that I was overcoming, and it actually thrust me to follow my lifelong dreams of moving to Alaska. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how Michigan makes me feel and how Alaska makes me feel. So I absolutely love Alaska, but my home is also Michigan. It's where I grew up. It's where I got my feet wet in the world, and it's beautiful and wild, and I love it dearly. So I wanted this time to bring some things back home with me to Alaska from Michigan, from my Michigan home. So I had my youth camp this year along Lake Superior, and I collected some various types of rock and even some agates. So these, by the way, are two different pieces of sandstone, and they are Lake Superior sandstone. They're kind of a red hue. It might be hard to see with the color here. And this is really chunks of Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore that have chunked off maybe hundreds of years ago and drifted down to where I was. I was not in the national park, and I was along Lake Superior shoreline. So these two I brought back to Alaska from Michigan, because they'll be excellent field stones for me to sharpen my knife blades when I'm here in Alaska, practicing and using my survival skills. This piece right here is a piece of basalt, and I am kind of I wouldn't even say gemologist by any means, but I do like to play a lot with rocks. Some of these are just rocks, and some of these are agates that I've polished in the past. Like here's some Lake Superior agate banding, and it's probably terrible light to show you this in. I tried to get as much light as I could. Anyways, I can show you my agates maybe more in depth at a later time. But the reason why I wanted to show you this is I found a unique piece of driftwood. I wanted to bring this back. The reason why I've brought some of these things back is I want to have a little piece of Michigan with me here in Alaska. So because I was traveling and have luggage and all the luggage restrictions, and of course more luggage means more money, and all those types of things that we all know about traveling in this modern era, I wanted to keep it light. So I decided to get some small pieces of basalt, which are Lake Superior rounded from the Lake Superior shoreline that I collected during my youth camp this year. And I thought I could make some unique, maybe rock cairns, also maybe some rock figurines, and use some naturally formed uniqueness that I found in the form of what's called found art. It's just a term meaning that you find something in the wild or in nature that is artistically formed. So these are basalt. These are kind of a mixture of things, and this I actually thought was kind of fascinating because this is volcanic. It's very light volcanic rock. The rest of these aren't volcanic. There's a couple like this one that probably have some agate in it as well. Once again, I apologize for the lighting. I have the best lighting I could find. This was just a flat piece, nothing really that amazing. I just thought it might make a nice base to put some rock cairns on, and my plan is to kind of piece some of these together like a natural puzzle, come up with some figurines, glue them together, and maybe give them away as gifts. So I have some really small ones. They might be the top of a rock cairn, or they could be eyes or some other features of figurines if I get to the point where I'm making little creatures out of the rocks. These are various types of jasper. Actually, that one's jasper, this is jasper, and this is jasper. So the rest are kind of a mixture. This is a little piece of sandstone. And these are some jewelry pieces. I want to get into making jewelry at some point soon that my very, very dear friend Gina made. And these are Lake Superior agates. So here's an example of what the agate looks like It's a semi-precious stone that we find. And they also help with my youth camp, her and her husband Chris. And they found over 100 agates to my 10 during our trip there. So, and I'm not even sure if I found very good agates compared to the ones they found. They definitely have an agate eye. So I do have some agates here. I guess I could pour them out and show you more later. But I have made some agate jewelry. This one is actually not agate, but it's an example of a tie tack. And I might actually get into selling some different types of jewelry. Here's one